Hey, sure, I don't really need to explain who this is about. He's in the title and he knew this video was going to be made. Thanks for confirming that this is your account. I'm sure you won't be too bothered about what I'll say here because apparently nobody will care. This isn't about horror art retweets. We both know that there's more to that account. This is the account I'm talking about, though I made that very clear with you saying the exact username. I bet you thought that I wouldn't be able to get anything from that private account, nevertheless something, about 2 years ago. But nothing is ever really gone or hidden on the internet. That's something everybody's taught, so this has still come back to bite you. Do you remember that 13-year-old you used to interact with back in 2023, Fatal? You interacting with them seemingly went on until next year where they were still interacting with you when you had turned 18 and they remained 13. I wouldn't know if your interactions stopped there, but the fact even when you were my age, talking to them about the things you were was wrong. I see any 13-year-old with how old I am now, as a child, that is a vast maturity difference. This is the person who was 13 years old by the time they were speaking to you's birthday for reference. I will be blurring their profile picture and username, as they have plenty of personal things on said account and are still a minor, considering they would now be 15. Here's roughly when your birthday is, though from my memory it's actually May 30th. Either way, the latest post I could find you interacting with them on was on June 4th of 2024. Warnings: real self-harm, real eating disorders, real drug abuse, all censored or just mentioned, and grooming. Now, with that out of the way, this is all going to take place in communities like self-harm Twitter, eating disorder Twitter, and drug Twitter. If you don't know what these communities are, it's essentially a place where people post their fresh self-harm, anorexic bodies, and the drugs they are consuming. It's a place where people go to get worse, with a lot of these accounts I looked through, saying that they had recovered only when they would leave their accounts behind. This is obviously not the 13-year-old, but important context to the fact that Fatal's account at the time obviously had sexual content on it to some degree, while talking to that 13-year-old with the community they were in. He was reposting and uploading way worse things, but still. If that's not enough evidence for you that inappropriate things were being talked about, we have this here. Now, I'm not sure if this person is still a minor, but on their account it says 16, so they're being blurred out too. This is the 13-year-old, I'll be continuing to blur them red for the rest of the video. Anyways, you can see here that Fatal was informed that this person was 13, so he can't say that he was unaware. Rather than stop interacting with them right there, he continues to do so. And if you think he stopped talking to them there, no, he didn't. In fact, he didn't hold back at all on what he said to them afterwards, still it seems. This is another 13-year-old he talked to at the time. This was something I only found out at this part of the video, when looking back at their account, which is why I didn't say he'd talked to multiple. To differentiate this 13-year-old from the other one, they will be gray and called 13-year-old too. Evidence that this person was 13 at the time, this post being made December 7th of 2023. This isn't the same 16-year-old that was blurred in purple, and the reason I keep saying I don't know if they are, is because they haven't posted in a while and have possibly aged, but to be safe, I'm still blurring them. The gray blur is them talking about self-harm Twitter, specifically the Japanese side of it. It's blurred because I at least want to try to refrain from people having the actual tags to look this stuff up. Just want to confirm that everyone in each replies section I've shown so far have visible, public accounts, so all of the posts that aren't visible are Fatal's. Can't even guess what was being talked about here, but can definitely assume it was self-harm related. It's pretty clear here that disturbing things were being exchanged. The user that is mentioned there I have blurred, so that if that disturbing content is still up, nobody will be able to look for it. This goes to show that Fatal, as the older person, was also a part of this, which isn't okay. Here it seems Fatal is making fun of the 13-year-old, for not being able to stomach the disturbing self-harm content. Even here, they're implying that they're younger and oddly seem like they're a friend of Fatal's rather than just somebody random. The 13-year-old seems to be replying to themselves in this part of the thread, though that could be because of a glitch or because Fatal deleted his response. One could say that Fatal and this 13-year-old seem to be mutuals. That's important for later. This is the last post I could find of them interacting. All of this, of course, being whatever was said in public. Fatal would have been 18 here, like I said in the beginning, while the 13-year-old would still be 13. This is a post they made a month later, and while this may not be about Fatal, considering this kid was so vulnerable in general, he was one of the people I'd seen interacting with this kid the most and one of the oldest too. The things not labeled that I censored in gray are the hashtags for self-harm Twitter, and the red is just the 13-year-old's account. Notice how it says they had a private Instagram account where they showed this to self-harm Twitter mutuals when they were 13. If Fatal was a part of this, which he very likely was, considering how much this 13-year-old and him interacted, it would have been on this account. The other two ones that he has that I found were made in 2024 and 2025. This account was made before he and the 13-year-old would have first interacted. These next two people that I'll mention are 15 as of now, meaning they were younger when they interacted with Fatal. Trigger warning for mentioned bestiality. This is really weird. I also only found out that the person blurred in light blue was probably also a minor while making the video. This is sick. This is mentally ill and very, very real. Real minors were affected, while the main 13-year-old I talked about in this video was already vulnerable. You helped make things worse. You shouldn't have been interacting with them at all. And to add on to this, Fatal's unprivated his main Twitter and Instagram, two things he had privated to prevent people he did not know and minors from looking at them, also so people could not report his content. Why he unprivated these things, that's up to the people watching. One last thing before I go, the latest addition to the spiders you found on the ground at work series, Fatal? On your spam account? Check the end, you accidentally showed something.